Welcome to The Perfect Song. Let me welcome the panel once again. Just finishing his coughing, it's Mike.
Hey, at least I muted. Hi.
You did. Thank you for muting. And over here is Alan.
Bonjour.
And we are looking at a song by Journey. And it's Don't Stop Believin'. You know it. And this song was nominated by the world because it's sort of a it's a very popular song, still to this day popular. So a little background on it. It is, like I said, by Journey. It was written by Steve Perry, who's the lead singer, Neil Schon, the guitar player, and Jonathan Cain, who's the keyboard player. And so Jonathan Cain was the new keyboard player in Journey. He was actually handpicked and replaced Greg Raleigh, who was the previous keyboard player. And this song, it makes sense that Jonathan Cain is one of the writers because he is responsible for that really well-known opening piano riff. He was also the inspiration for the title of the song, Don't Stop Believin'. It's something that his father would say to him when he was struggling in the music business. So the song, basically power rock ballad, memorably sung by Steve Perry, who has a very recognizable voice, and story of two people changing their lives by leaving where they're at, either a small town or South Detroit, taking a midnight train to anywhere. So that's the story of the song, and it's an upbeat kind of a feel good song. Don't stop believing. You know, that's really what it sets out to do. It's not trying to rock or anything. It's trying to send a positive message.
What? There's no hidden message?
No, it's pretty straightforward, Mike. Don't stop believing.
Oh,
You don't
man.
think they're trying to rock? I think they're
Well,
trying to
they
rock.
are trying to rock. I shouldn't say it that way. Yeah, you're right. They're trying to rock, but they're also trying to inspire you to not stop believing.
Which was the original lyric was not stop believing, but then they realized it's better with don't.
So yeah, real quick, this was evidently recorded in one take, the music, and then Steve Perry, who was sick on the day they recorded the band, he came in the next day, or when he was feeling better, and he recorded in basically one take too. So it was just like boom, boom, boom. And again, it retained its popularity, and we've talked about this in other podcasts, through like popular culture over the years. Like it was used very memorably in the Sopranos finale. It is also played at Detroit Red Wings hockey games. I think mostly for the line "Born and raised in South Detroit." Although you know what, I learned in my research, there's no real South Detroit because south of Detroit is Ontario and a river, but that's okay. The Detroitians love it, and they actually play it like at their playoff games for the Red Wings. And I believe they lower the volume for that so the crowd can sing "Born and raised in South Detroit." You know, it's fun.
Do people in Detroit refer to themselves as Detroitians?
No, I do. And
Okay.
it's not right, but it's what I do.
Oh, I don't. Do we know what they refer to themselves as?
I don't know. You want to research that?
I will. You keep talking.
All right, research that on the fly. So yes, it lives on through this kind of use, and also San Francisco Giants games. At least it was in the 8th inning of Giants games, and because Journey's a Bay Area band, by the way. And Steve Perry, the lead singer, is a season ticket holder to the San Francisco Giants. But in the 8th inning, particularly when they're losing, I've been to these games, and when we're losing in the 8th, trailing in the 8th, they play Don't Stop Believin', and everyone sings along, and it's all very fun. I remember there's a famous moment during the World Series in 2014 when the Giants were in that Steve Perry actually was there leading the crowd in the song, and it was a pretty fun moment. And I believe they went on to win because of Steve Perry magic.
That's right.
So yeah, the song lives on. Another just interesting trivia, perhaps interesting trivia nonetheless. It was the number one paid digital download of anything released in the 20th century. Does that make sense? It's
Really?
that it was for a long time. It might have been replaced, but according to my sources, possibly still is the number one downloaded song that was originally released in the 20th century.
Interesting.
That's kind of big. Oh, and it's huge in Ireland. Okay. So anyway, enough trivia.
Oh, but just to bring it right back,
Yeah.
they refer to themselves as Detroiters.
Oh, Detroiters. So Detroiters, when they're at the Red Wings, they sing that and they get into it. So anyway, okay, let me throw to you guys about this song. Again, we were all of the same age and we remember the early 80s as well as we can. And this song was very much there. Tell me your relationship with the song. Either one. How about Mike?
Well, I just want to point out the song is 43 years old.
Wow.
I know. Anyway, it was a song you could never escape when it first came. Well, you still can't really
escape. See what you did there?
Yeah, see?
Oh boy.
It was a song you just couldn't escape. That you couldn't escape when it came out. And it was played on every station you could think of, every place you could think of. You'd hear people playing it on the streets. You hear on their Walkmans. It's like boom boxes.
Yeah, that whole Escape album was a phenomenon for the time.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
I actually, you know what? Guilty pleasure. I had that out. I bought that album and listened to it over and over for about 3 weeks. And then if for some reason I just stopped. I said, I don't want to hear this anymore.
It was their biggest album. It had most of their hits on it. Open Arms, all. I mean,
is Lovin', Touchin', Squeezin' on that?
No, that's not. That's not on that.
Oh no, that isn't. You're right. No. God, there's so many.
It's a Stone in Love.
Stone in Love, right?
I can't. There's another a slow song that's
I can look it up.
Is Wheel in the Sky on that?
Nope, that's earlier.
Who's something now? Something.
Who's crying now?
Who's crying now? But yeah, I mean, it's a song that I grew up with. It's sort of like one of those iconic songs that's in my DNA. You can't get rid of it, even if it's like not one of my favorite songs. It's part of who I am. It's part of growing up. It's part of everything that I know about music. This song is part of it. It's like it's. There's songs you can forget, and there's songs you're like, oh yeah, I remember that song. It's impossible to forget this song.
Yeah, it came at a time in our lives that was like we were very much sponges to culture and music, and like you said, it was everywhere. And I mean, I'm not to speak to the quality of the song yet, but I think it's just catchy.
I understand exactly why it was so big, because it is a song that, especially in the 80s, where everybody, at least at the time, was very cynical about a lot of different things in the world. I think a song like this, it made sense why it became such this massive, massive hit. And it's a hopeful song. I mean, it's like there's some heartache in the song, but it's really about, even though your life is like this, you got to not stop believing. And how can you not at least appreciate what the song is trying to do and understand why everybody really fell in love with it at the time? Well, not everybody, but you know what I mean. It's like the masses. And
the lyrics are about starting fresh. Like you can always change your life, start new somewhere, kind of deal. Yeah.
So I liked this song when it came out. I don't think that my liking of it and Journey lasted very long. I think
exactly.
When I hit my more teen years, I got very like, ugh, that's so lowest common denominator, all that kind of snarky teenage energy pushed me more towards most of the music I listen to now.
Well, there's so much exciting stuff happening in 81, and stuff to discover. And this song was like, okay, this is a rock anthem song, right? So you had so much more to see, more to hear,
But in subsequent years, when I do hear it, I do have a feeling of nostalgia. I do think it is a very infectious song. It's got that kind of brawny kind of bass line in there, and Steve Perry is a unique voice and a good one. It's actually not my favorite Journey song. I would think that is probably Any Way You Want It. But at least it's not Lovin' Touchin' Squeezin', because that song with the na-na-nas.
You can't get behind that. That's a concert song, right? That's for the...
Yeah. Your turn, girl, to cry. No, it's my turn to cry. But that's not what this podcast is about. It's not about that song. Nope. It's about this song, Don't Stop Believing. So it's very energetic. It's very uplifting. It does, it's like overcoming, the situation you're in. And yeah, I think it's a very good song.
Yeah. Again, like Mike mentioned when it came out after the 70s, where there was such malaise, there was such there wasn't a lot of hope. And if anything, the 80s were about hope of some kind, even though it was maybe artificial hope. But certainly this song, just the definition of it, like a rock anthem. You can sing along to it, you bounce along with it. And again, I'm going to get into the structure of the song because it's what I do. It's funny, you don't hear the chorus or the title of the song until the song is almost over. You get a bunch of verses and these little instrumental parts that are very similar to the chorus, but he's not singing the chorus. He's, but sort of, it really just captures you. You kind of really move along with it. So my sort of reaction to it now as I listen to it, like you guys, I heard it my whole life and I heard it at the time. And I mentioned I was into it for about a month or so before like Alan, I said, wait a minute, but there's these other things going on. That's kind of cool. You've got that opening piano. I mean, it just, where you're at when you hear that, and it just puts you in the mood. And then, and then it just gets into there. And then Steve Perry comes in with those vocals and, it's really powerful. It builds up, and then Neil Schon comes in with the little biddly. I call it the biddly biddlies. Billy. One thing I like about it that isn't mentioned too much is the drumming. Steve Smith is the drummer. He adds these little hits the ride cymbal and the toms in a certain syncopated offbeat rhythm that kind of elevates the song even just a tiny little bit more.
I've always liked that line. I think somewhere else it's part of a longer line maybe, but at the end he's just saying street lights, people,
right?
I like that line a lot. It's very,
He's just saying, remember when I sang about this before? Put that
with streetlights, people.
Think
That's
about
the
that.
thing. Don't stop believing in them. The streetlights and the people.
Right.
You can give up on government and democracy, but people and streetlights, no.
Yeah. We hope you're enjoying this GenXplainers podcast. Remember to find us and follow us on social media. Give us a like, a follow, or support us on Patreon. And we'd much appreciate a 5-star rating on the podcast platform of your choice. Now, let's get back to the show.
Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Streetlight people.
All right. Well, okay. Let's, I guess we can vote on it. This was kind of chosen for its cultural impact.
Mm-hmm.
And it is not my favorite Journey song. Alan mentioned his. I think it might have been one you mentioned before. I think it might have been. It might be. Damn it! Of course, now my brain doesn't work today. Here, I'll say this. I really like Wheel in the Sky, and I also like Any Way You Want It more than Don't Stop Believin'. How's that? I do like both of those songs better. This song, Don't Stop Believin', I think it's definitely a perfect rock anthem song. That's a qualification, obviously. It's cheesy for sure. That is part of its charm. It does tell a nice story vividly, or with imagery that's memorable, and it's an uplifting message. And evidently, Mike DeGagne of All Music has described it as a perfect rock song. I'm not one to argue with him, but I think it's gonna just barely make it, and I'm gonna say yes. I think as it is, for what it is and what it's trying to do, it's perfect. I'll go with it.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those cases where it's not one of my go-tos at all, but I am going to vote it as a perfect song for what it actually is. I can't think of another rock anthem that probably has its claws so much in people. And well, yeah.
Yeah.
Tendrils. What do you want? Tendrils. How about that?
Tendrils. Say tendrils. It's tendrils around us.
So anyway, yeah, I am going to vote yes.
All right. How about you, Al?
Very catchy, very infectious song. A lot of nostalgia there, but I do not think it is a perfect song.
Okay. All right. Well, there you have it. It's
Split vote.
No
Split
turkeys.
vote.
No turkey.
No turkey gobble this time, but that's okay. That's all right.
It's going to be a wah, wah.
The sad trombone.
It might not have any sound. Does everything? Maybe everything does have to have a sound. I don't know.
I want to be the morning zoo show.
Yeah.
The morning zoo podcast.
I need to get one of those soundboards, just like every once in a while. Wah.
Little splash of water.
Me so horny. No.
Wow.
Wasn't that? I think that was one of the samples on that fake radio show on Parks and Rec. That what's his name? I forget the actor.
Probably.
I wish I remembered it. It's funny. Go check out some old Parks and Rec. It's a funny show. Anyway, that's our show.
Yeah.
You've probably heard "Don't Stop Believin'," but maybe go listen to it again. You know what? Explore more Journey and see if you like two songs more than this one too, just like me. And make sure it's not the same one Alan likes, because we can't.
I said no. I was the one saying you.
No, I'm being a self-deprecating joke.
Oh, okay.
Saying that I have a problem having it the same song, but you don't.
I like to share that experience.
I know you're a sharer and a carer.
I'm a sharer.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. Say goodbye, guys. Oh, wait, no, we don't say goodbye. Wait a minute. Well, that's the show. Hang in there, Smokey.
See you later.
Later, Gators.
Thank you for listening to this GenXplainers podcast. Follow us on Instagram and friend us on Facebook. Just search for GenXplainers and find us on Patreon, where you can support the channel and gain access to extended cuts of the podcast as well as exclusive bonus content. See you next time.